JSON files are a way of storing data from large data sets and making it portable for people to use across the internet or across email across the globe. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to read a JSON file and make a list out of one of the elements within the JSON file. So the first thing you're going to need to do is make sure that you have a JSON file. I have already saved one to my desktop. And after going to Replit, I'm going to upload the JSON file. Here is the JSON file. I can hit this little auto format if I'd like to reformat it to make it a little bit more readable by humans. And as we saw before, it is just a list of dictionaries. So essentially each key would be maybe the column heading from a spreadsheet, and each dictionary in the list would be a record or a row in that spreadsheet. What we're going to do is going to write a program that's going to be able to read the JSON file. So I'm going to start by saying import JSON. And then what I'm going to say is the name of my file. I'm just going to call it F equals and then open. And we're going to say the name of the file that we're opening. It's the one that we imported or uploaded from my desktop. So iris.json. It's going to open and read the file and save it in this object F. And then what I'm going to do is going to make a dictionary that I'm going to call data by taking the JSON object that I've imported. I'm going to load, which is a method within the JSON class. I'm going to load my file that I called F. And then what I'm going to do is close the file. I now have that JSON file stored in F and then into a dictionary. So I can print the dictionary just to see that it's there. There it is. A little tough to read, but anything that we can do with the dictionary, we can do with this data that we read in from our JSON file. What I'm going to do with it at the moment, though, is I'm going to make a list. I'm going to use a for loop. Let's say for, or enhanced for loop for x. In data, what I want to do is append to the list every x, which is a dictionary that comes out. I'm going to append its sepal length to the list. And then what I'm going to do is, just to see what I did here, I'm going to print out that list. Let's see. So now I have a list which essentially represents the sepal length of every element or every dictionary that's contained within the list that came from a JSON file. So it's essentially like a column of a table. So this is reading down the column, it's every record's or every entry's sepal length. I could also make this a little bit easier using list comprehension. I can make a list, I'm just going to call it sep2, and instead of writing all that code that I did just a moment ago, it makes it a little bit easier to say X and then hopefully I can spell it correctly this time, so sorry, sepal length for X in data. By doing this, it's just a shorthand for doing what I did a moment ago in lines 7 through 9. It does it in one line. So if I wanted to see it, I could say print sep, which was the original, and print, let's just print sep2. So you can see it's the same values as I had a moment ago. So between those two, you could really do either. I could do it in 3 lines of code, or I can make it a little quicker and do it in just 1 line of code.